Welcome to today's therapy session where we are going to just breathe, relax, be vulnerable, be open, but also be at peace with all the feelings that we feel. We're going to allow ourselves to feel everything we feel. And all the negativity, we're going to acknowledge it, and we're going to just let it pass through. We're not going to let it stay. We're just going to breathe it out. We're going to just, it's here, it's out. It's here, it's out, okay? That's the main focus of today, because your girl needs it, and I'm sure there are plenty of you out there that need it too. So let's be there for each other. I want this to be a safe place for you. It is a safe place for you, always, okay? And I'm going to tell you some things that you need to know. Are you ready? You are so important. I am so glad you're here. You are amazing in so many ways. The world is so blessed to have you. Okay? Thank you so much for being you. Sometimes I have to tell myself that. Okay, let's be real. Every day I have to tell myself that. I choose to tell myself that I'm amazing, that I'm worth it. Yeah. It helps a lot. So today's session is just going to be kind of surrounded by peace and acceptance, which brings me to DBT, just like my Bible. Okay. Let's try to see if I can find it super fast. Oh, random side note. I keep my books by my window. Yeah. And I have an AC unit in my window. Don't do that. They get wet and ruined. Whoops. Alright. So we got mindfulness. We need radical acceptance. Where would that be? So another big thing is self-validation. Giving yourself self-validation is extremely important, because you're not always going to get validation from those around you. Something to keep in mind. There's so much good stuff in here too. Tips for using behavior change strategies effectively. Because we all have things we want to work on and we want to change, right? Well, this helps you do that. Okay, the other thing I want to mention is paired muscle relaxation. This is when you intentionally tense up your body and then you release it. That is so beneficial too when you're trying to go to bed and you can't sleep and you're getting agitated. Just tense up all your muscles and then just release. Feels really good. Another fun skill is opposite to emotion. So let's say you're really depressed, or you're really down, or you're really angry. Act opposite to what you are feeling, and eventually your brain will get tricked and you'll start feeling those feelings of happiness and the joy of pretending, you know? So you know that saying, fake it to make it? Well, an old therapist of mine used to say, no, fake it to become it. Sticks with me every day. Okay. Are you working on your play skills? That's also extremely important to acknowledge and note that taking care of your mind is about taking care of your body. It's all connected. If you're not taking care of your body, then you can't really take care of your mind, right? Play skills include treat physical illness, take care of your body, see a doctor when necessary, and take prescribed medication. However, I'm going to add to that, after doing thorough examinations and evaluations. I have personally been misdiagnosed and was put on medications that literally almost killed me. So make sure you absolutely know for certain what is going on before you just start popping medications. And then balanced eating. Don't eat too much or too little. Eat regularly and mindfully throughout the day. Stay away from foods that make you feel overly emotional. So I've been listening to this therapist on YouTube, and she talks a lot about what overeating is and how we eat with our emotions. And for example, anytime you're feeling happy or sad, you eat, right? Food is like the key to every emotion we go through. So just try to adapt different ways and different ideas of what food is. Food is to help us survive, give us energy, make us feel better physically. If you're trying to decrease your weight, notice how I said decrease instead of lose. So she pointed out, if you constantly say I need to lose weight, then you're associating that with a loss. If you're like me and if you think of a loss, you think of something sad, well, boom, right there, it's going to make you want to eat. So instead, use phrases like, oh, I'm going to work on getting myself back to where I was whatever year or however many months ago it was. Or I think I need to eliminate some food so I can feel better, I can be healthier, and I want to look fit again. I want to look healthy. I want to be healthy again. You also want to make it a choice. Instead of I can't have that, you say, oh, I'm choosing not to have that. See, your mind, you are in control of it. All right, next, avoid mood altering substances. So stay away from alcohol, drugs, caffeine, all that. Stay off illicit drugs and use alcohol in moderation, if at all. Next is balanced sleep, which is something I personally need to work on so much. Try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, or at least the amount of sleep that helps you feel good. Keep to a consistent sleep schedule, especially if you are having difficulty sleeping. So that is personally something I need to work on. And lastly, get exercise. Do some sort of exercise every day. Try to build up to 20 minutes of daily exercise. That can be anything from aerobics, cardio, HIIT, walking, jogging, whatever you enjoy. There are so many different workouts out there. You can find one that works for you, honestly, okay? Make sure you're taking care of your body, because that's also taking care of your mind. But don't make yourself feel guilty if you fall off a little bit. Like if you have some cake to celebrate, good for you. Don't feel guilty. Okay. All right. Here's another very, very important thing that we're going to touch on. It's mindfulness of current emotions and letting go of emotional suffering. Observe your emotion. Step back and just notice your emotion. Experience your emotion as a wave, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Coming and going. Now imagine surfing the emotion wave. Try not to block or suppress the emotion. Don't try to get rid or push away the emotion. Don't try to keep the emotion around. Don't hold on to it. Don't amplify it. So kind of like what we were doing earlier. We're like, I see you. I acknowledge you. Now I'm releasing you. Letting you go. Letting you go. Okay, so it's like a wave. Can you do the wave? I can't. Let's see. Kinda. Practice mindfulness of body sensations. Notice where in your body you are feeling emotional sensations. Sometimes I get it in the stomach. Sometimes I get it in my back, where it's just tense. Always in my shoulders. I always feel like my shoulders are up by my ears. I have to constantly remind myself to put my shoulders back and drop my shoulders. Experience the sensations as fully as you can. Observe how long it takes before the emotion goes down. Remember, you are not your emotion. Do not necessarily act on your emotion. That one is huge. I'm going to say that again. Do not necessarily act on your emotion. Remember times when you felt different. So I have times where I'm like, oh, I can't picture myself being super depressed. And then when I'm super depressed, I'm like, oh, I can't picture myself being super happy. But it's important that I do. So sometimes I'll make videos to myself. I'll be like, hey, Tay. Hey, future Taylor. It's me. Peppy you. Just wanted to let you know that you can feel like this and you're gonna feel like this again. Okay, and then practice loving your emotion. Respect your emotion. This one's so huge because I struggled with this for so long. And let me tell you, once you have this nailed, you're set. Respect your emotion. Like, what? Why would I do that, right? Trust me. Do not judge your emotion. Do not judge your emotion. Practice willingness. Practice willingness. Radically accept your emotion. You know what that means? We just are radically accepting it like it is what it is. But we're not letting it take over, okay? So remember, do not hold on to it and do not amplify it. But just accept that it is what it is. Because, let me tell you, There are days where I'm just super, super depressed. I have major depressive disorder, and I have tried so many times to get this diagnosis removed, but I keep proving over and over that I have it. Even though I manage it very, very well, I still have days, okay? We all do. We all do. And let me tell you, there are days where I'm like, no, I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it. And it only makes me more exhausted. So I've learned to go, okay, I'm depressed today. What can I do? And then I change my mindset to, oh, I can't do this. I go, okay, what am I capable of doing today? What will my body allow me to do today? It's telling me it's tired. I'm going to listen, right? Exactly. All right. Don't want the worksheets. Okay. All right, lastly, we're going to go over some myths about emotions. Here's the myth. There is a right way to feel in every situation. Here's the challenge. Every person responds differently to a situation. There is no correct or right way. Number 2, letting others know that I am feeling bad is a weakness. The challenge, letting others know that I am feeling bad is a healthy form of communication. However, it is not healthy to trauma dump or emotionally dump on somebody, okay? I just needed to make that very clear. Here's a great example. Hey, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm great, thank you. How are you? Oh, I'm doing all right. There's a few things I'm working through, but I'm doing all right. I'll get there. See? You are letting them know that you're not doing great. At the same time, you're not oversharing and you're not giving them every detail. See? And if they ask, oh, what's going on? Then you can tell them. Just little by little. But if they don't ask, don't tell. I've had to actually ex-nay friendships because of that. Alright, next challenge. Or next myth. Negative feelings are bad and destructive. The challenge. Negative feelings are natural responses. They help me to create a better understanding of the situation. I will also add that because I do have MDD and BPD, I will ask my boyfriend if I'm turning a speed bump into a mountain, because sometimes, even though I've been through DBT, I've been through therapy for years, I have a degree in psychology, I still need reassurance sometimes, and I still need a little bit of guidance on if I'm being over emotional or just the right amount, because though there is no right or wrong way, there is still like a balance. And people with BPD, they tend to go from 0 to 1,000, or they think very black and white, where I want to be in that gray area. So it's important to acknowledge some of that as well. Alright, myth. Being emotional means out of control. Being emotional means being a normal human being is the challenge. Myth. Some emotions are stupid. Challenge. Every emotion indicates how I am feeling in a certain situation. All emotions are useful to help me understand what I am experiencing. Myth. All painful emotions are a result of a bad attitude. Challenge. All painful emotions are natural responses to something. And another side note here, I need you guys to know you're not alone in any of this. because I'm going through trauma therapy myself, I do get trauma triggered. It really opens the door for so many things you don't think you remember, but you do, and it's so weird that at random times it's what some people might think is the silliest thing. You might be extremely triggered by it. I just want you to know that you're valid, and I'm right there with you. Okay? We're not silly. We're just human. If others don't approve of my feelings, I obviously shouldn't feel the way I do. Challenge. I have every right to feel the way I do, regardless of what other people think. Myth. Other people are the best judges of how I am feeling. Do you believe that? I don't. Challenge. I am the best judge of how I feel. Other people can only guess how I feel. It's also important not to let people tell you how you feel. If you go to someone and respectfully tell them, hey, I feel sad when you don't call me when you're going to be late, okay? And if they say, oh, you're fine, you don't feel sad, that's gaslighting. That's bad. Don't be around those people, okay? Period. Myth. Painful emotions are not important and should be ignored. What? No. Challenge. Painful emotions can be warning signs telling me that a situation I am in is not good. Lastly, the myth. Extreme emotions get you a lot further than trying to regulate your emotions. Challenge. Extreme emotions can often cause trouble for me and for some other people. If an emotion is not effective, emotion regulation is a good idea. I think everyone has some issues with emotion regulation or regulating their emotions accordingly, appropriately. Yeah, can we agree on that? So, this week I really want you to work on radical acceptance, as in accepting every emotion that comes in and riding the wave of that emotion and saying, okay, bye. Literally every emotion comes and goes, you know? Everything comes and goes. Just get on that surfboard, ride that wave, and have fun with it. But also remind yourself that you are important, that you are spectacular, and that you are one of a kind. You're amazing and brilliant and just everything that the world needs, okay? Don't you ever forget that. You hear? And I will see you in our next session.